Preventing IP theft with Microsoft Information Protection. My name's Casey Gordon from Cloud Made Simple. Let's get started. So what is Windows Information Protection and Azure Information Protection? Well, it's part of the Microsoft Information Protection suite that you generally get available within the Business Premium license tier. And so I'm going to go through today what the benefit it is to your organization and also what it looks like for the end user. And we'll go through a bit of a demonstration to what the user sees. So what is WIP? Well, it's designed to be used in conjunction with Azure Information Protection and data loss prevention. Its primary function is to stop any inadvertent or malicious leakage of company-owned data. This is particularly important for sensitive documents, company intellectual property, or any other data that may contribute to your competitive advantage within your industry. Windows Information Protection works on two levels of data protection on your devices. The first being the files themselves, stopping or monitoring these from being copied to external USB drives, other cloud storage devices such as OneDrive Personal or Dropbox, and even into browser-based sessions through Gmail, for example. So stopping the file being added as an attachment in that scenario. The second protection being the data that's within these documents. So say, for example, if we had a sales spreadsheet in Excel and we wanted to stop or alert on this information being copied out from Excel and put into a personal Gmail email and sending it outside the corporate boundary. And I just wanted to make a note that while Windows Information Protection can be used for malicious users, that's generally not the case for a rollout. It's more to protect against accidental data leakage and using the reports and events as a means to educate users on the importance of data protection. Windows Information Protection has three configuration modes. The first being silent, which will track all of the triggers of the events into the event viewer on the device. From there, we can collect those logs using Azure Log Monitor if required. The second is an allow override, which is what we'll see in this demonstration. This allows the user to confirm that they're copying work-related data into a personal application and that the action will be logged. So the first thing you may notice is the file ownership column now available in your File Explorer. This just allows you to see at a quick glance if the file is work-related or personal-related. And in the policy setup, you can see that you set it to the domain of your organization, ours being cloudmadesimple.com. So for the first scenario I'd like to show is moving a work-protected document into a USB drive. We can see we have this important information document in our WIP demo folder on the local device and an external USB drive. So I'm just going to drag and drop to see what it's like for the end user. And as we can see, we get the alert come up and say that we're trying to copy work-protected content to a removable drive. And because this is the allow override function, we can copy as work-protected, and that'll stay encrypted on the device so that only other organization devices can open the document. We can copy it to personal, so that'll remove that work-related tag and also get logged in the event viewer. Otherwise, we can skip. The second scenario that I'd like to show is where a user may have a OneDrive Personal or Dropbox on their device and are syncing that up to the cloud storage, and they may try and copy the file out using this method. It will copy the file locally as the local storage is actually trusted, but the client app won't be able to sync the file into the cloud storage as it doesn't have the required permissions. So I'm just going to show you here. So we'll click this important information document, we'll copy it, and we'll go to paste it in our Dropbox, which it'll copy over fine, but within our actual Dropbox sync client, we're going to see an error where it won't be able to upload the file. So let me show you that. So as you can see, we get that error in Dropbox that it's actually unable to sync that document. The third scenario I'd like to try is if a user tries to upload a file directly into the web interface of Dropbox or any other non-sanctioned cloud storage. So the question of, can Windows Information Protection handle users uploading through a sanctioned web browser? Well, the answer is yes, as we can set network boundaries where you can define work-related URLs within the protection policy. So let's jump over to the Dropbox web browser. You can see I'm logged in here. What I'm going to try and do is simply upload this important information document into Dropbox, and we can see what happens. So the user is going to be prompted that the organization has protected the content that they're trying to drop. So they can override this, but again, that will be logged. Otherwise, they can click cancel and the file won't be uploaded. Also, similar to the Dropbox web client, we can protect in, say, other third-party Gmail or other web clients that are used for webmail, attaching the document in that regard to an outbound email. So I'll show you how that looks. So we attach a file here in this Gmail message. We go to click this important information document. Again, we're prompted to say, do you want to allow an override? So you can see how that even the web boundaries or the URL boundaries we can implement in the policy can block data leakage through these means. The user may try and circumvent this restriction by opening the document and simply copying and pasting the content, but the protection will still be in place. So this applies to any work protected document. So I just want to quickly show you how that looks. So if we open up that Word document again, we can see here it's got some important information. So if I go to copy this and I try and paste it directly into this email that I'm trying to send out, again, we're going to get that prompt. So you can see how even a copy and paste procedure is protected with Windows Information Protection. We can also set specified applications to be allowed to access work data. And for applications that aren't specified in the policy, they'll be treated as personal and not allowed to access that data. So with that in mind, for our fifth scenario, we have WordPad, which isn't considered a work application. So when we try and copy the content into the application, it's going to display an error. So let me quickly show you what that looks like. So we'll just open up WordPad. Okay, so we've got this important information document open still. I'm just going to copy this content, and this is going into a restricted app or an application that hasn't been defined as safe to use. And we can see what happens when we try and paste. So the pasted content actually pastes. Your organization doesn't allow you to use work content within this application. As we can see, Windows Information Protection is protecting your company data at a number of different levels. Though it's not the panacea for data protection, it should be used in conjunction with other methods and policies within your organization. I also wanted to show you what Azure Information Protection looks like. Azure Information Protection allows you to add labels and classifications to documents so that it puts restrictions and encryption on that document. So even if that document was somehow able to get outside the corporate boundary, it won't be able to open unless you have a corporate account. So how users actually apply these labels is through any Office suite application, including Outlook, Word, Excel, even within Teams. They're able to go to protect, and you can specify what these labels are and what they actually mean. So you can specify to add a watermark on the document, add a footer or a header in there, and also encrypt the document. So say, for example, with this one, we want to label it as confidential. We know that's going to add encryption to the document, and only people within, in this instance, Cloud Made Simple, will be able to open the document. So we go ahead and label it. We can see down here it's saying it's retrieving the templates from the server. So it's just grabbing those, which are the rules it needs to place on the document. And as we can see now, the confidential label has been applied to this document. You can view the permissions from here. If you wanted to, you can also show the bar within your Office suite so users are able to see exactly what labels are available and what ones are applied. You can also force this by policy so that it always is shown. So again, in here we can see what sensitivity label is currently applied and also what other ones are available if we wanted to change them. So just a quick overview of Azure Information Protection, just so you can see how it looks for the end user. So if you need any more information on Microsoft Information Protection, Windows Information Protection, Azure Information Protection, or data loss prevention, feel free to reach out.